Now, the push for an Australian republic may not be at the top of the agenda right now. However, there are plenty within Parliament, arguably even a majority, who do support Australia having an Australian head of state. And to that end today, we saw the launch of a new Parliamentary Friendship Group, not for a republic, but for an Australian head of state. Is there a difference? We've got one of the co-conveners of the group, Liberal MP Jason Falinski, with us now. Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
so let me just start on that. Is there a reason why you're not a Parliamentary Friendship Group for a republic, but rather an Australian head of state? Is that a concession that the word republic has an issue around it?
This is probably going to be the most boring answer you get today on Sky News, but Australia is already technically a republic in that our power is derived from the people through the ballot.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Did I miss
have
something?
I done your brain?
Did I miss something?
No. It's just conceptually a republic is where power is derived from the people. So democratically it's derived and comes through the Parliament. Our head of state, however, remains Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
But, so hang on. Are we a constitutional monarchy?
Yeah, we are.
And we're a republic.
Absolutely.
Win-win.
It's a win-win.
So hang on, you are saying we are a republic and a constitutional monarchy?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But a republic doesn't have a queen as head of state.
No, it doesn't. But so, going back to the French Revolution back in 1790, the term republic was actually about, it has public in the word, it was about the public getting to decide who ruled over them. Right. And that's the, or who were the governors of the nation.
It sounds like a definitional thing. Maybe you should let the
is.
Australian Republican Movement know, because they haven't changed their name.
Right.
Anyway, to the issue though, tell me about the friendship group. Who's in it? I understand that both the Prime Minister and the opposition leader are in it.
Yeah, so there are about 40 or 50 members of the friendship group. Prime Minister Turnbull and Bill Shorten are members of that. Katie Gallagher is the co-convener. And, invitations are open to everyone. George Christensen's a member, I'm told. So
there you go.
Yeah, I know.
Is there an issue, do you detect, that too often this is seen as a left-right issue?
No, I don't get that, actually, to be honest. There doesn't... I mean, like, having George in the tent is sort of an indication that this is actually a very broad church, and people who have views on different issues, wherever they may be, on this issue can come together. All
right. Now, where is it at? We know that Labor talks more about its plans, if it were to be in government, to have a referendum on this. But what's your view as to what the way forward should be?
Well, I think the view that has been put forward is that first thing we need to do is to establish, do we want a republic, yes or no? Once we've established that, then we can talk about, well, what sort of republic do we want? Once we've worked that bit out, then we can decide, then, we take that to a referenda or a referendum and have a vote up or down.
But that first question of do we want to be a republic or not?
Yes.
We already are, according to you. But
no, that's a good point. So do we want our head of state to be an
Australian head of state?
Should our head of state be one of us?
Okay, so when do we move to that first referendum question to do that?
Well, it wouldn't be, because it's not a constitutional question, it would be a plebiscite.
A plebiscite, okay.
Yeah.
When do we do that? Because Malcolm Turnbull's made it pretty clear, an avowed Republican as he is, that he doesn't see action on this happening until the current monarch is gone.
Yeah, so I think the Prime Minister's point is we need to be ready. And obviously he has deep experience in how the issue played out in the 90s. And I think one of the reasons we fell short in 99 was that though there'd been a lot of discussion amongst a certain group of people, mostly lawyers, when we actually got to the ballot box, a lot of Australians sat there and thought, actually, I don't really know very much about this subject. I feel a bit rushed in making that decision. So I think the Prime Minister's point is that we need to have those conversations now, and that's what this group's about.
So you could have this plebiscite just with the basic question of do we want an Australian head of state while Queen Elizabeth is still on the throne?
Well, I share the view that no matter what your view on who our head of state should be, she has carried out her duties with extraordinary dignity.
But to this question about timing, do you wait until she is dead, or do you do a plebiscite now?
That's rather blunt, David.
I know, but journalists are meant to cut through. Or can you have a plebiscite now?
Well, you can have a plebiscite whenever you like. I don't think it's appropriate to have one while she's still sitting as our head of state.
All right, so you've got to wait.
You do. That may not be the view of the community. That's just
my your view.
That's my view.
It's the Prime Minister's view, and it essentially means that the whole thing as to determining whether we have an Australian head of state really is in the hands of the Queen, who you don't think should be our head of state?
Well, it's not so much I don't think the Queen should be our head of state. It's not about the Queen. It's about, I think, that we have one of the most successful countries in the world. We have built one of the most successful countries in the world. We have peace, and our head of state should be one of us. That's not anything against Her Majesty. It's just a pro-Australian statement.
And what do you say to the critics who say this really is an affront order issue? It's not going to create one more job. It's not going to boost our wages. It's not going to make us more peaceful in our region. What do you say to that?
Yeah, so the argument is, aren't there more urgent things that we have to attend to? And look, that's true. And there's always going to be more urgent things for us to attend to. But there's nothing more important, I think, than having as our head of state someone who represents our hopes, our aspirations, who can bring us together in times of natural disaster, who can go to Twickenham and cheer when the Wallabies beat England, who can go to Lords and cheer when the Australian cricket team wins the Ashes. That's an important question, who our head of state is.
Not to mention dealing with a constitutional crisis as well, which is the primary function of the role.
Yeah.
Now, just finally then, if you are going to wait to take any steps until there's a change in London, what's the Parliamentary Friendship Group doing?
So we have to be ready. And the point about it is, in the late 90s, not enough discussion had occurred in the community more broadly. And it would look, I think, pretty silly for us as a parliament to say, yes, this has to be something driven by the community, but the representatives of the community not to have a view on it and not to be trying to drive that discussion as well. So that's why this group has formed, and that's what we're going to try and do.
Jason Falinski, very good to talk to you. Good luck with the Friendship Group.
Thank you, David.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.